Why did he do that? Unbelievable.
So, Iman, very recently in an ODI, New Zealand were playing Bangladesh, and Hassan Mahmood, the Bangladeshi seamer, he ran Ish Sodhi out at the non-strikers end, so invoked a Mankad, and then Sodhi was walking off. Liton Das, who was stand-in captain for Bangladesh, called Ish Sodhi back. Then Hassan Mahmood and Ish Sodhi hugged. So, we've entered new Mankad territory, I suppose, but more importantly, why did Liton do that?
Yeah, it was. I mean, we've seen failed Mankads, we've seen controversial Mankads, but I didn't think we were going to see a Mankad that was called back, especially when the kind of situation they were in. You want a wicket at that moment. They desperately were trying to get them all out so as to restrict them under 230, and it was kind of the perfect moment. And people kind of were theorizing, was it sportsmanship? Uh, why was he doing that to the? I mean, Hassan is 23 years old. Back your bowler when he gets a wicket, right? Was he trying to say, oh, we don't do that here? Sorry, the kid made a mistake. I think the crowd cheering when Sodhi was walking back, and then, like you said, Sodhi hugging them says a lot about the kind of way the Mankad is still viewed. And maybe that explains why they called him back. I don't like it. I know that you might not either. But it is what it is. I think that we clearly still have a long way to go. We've seen so many Mankads this year, more than I've seen before. I think we've seen maybe 4 or 5 across gender, across formats. So I was thinking, maybe we would see some more in the World Cup. But just judging by the fact that Bangladesh did that, and it's a pivotal moment, and the fact that Sodhi went on to make, I think, 18 runs for like 13 balls, and then also took 6 wickets with the ball, and then got player of the match. And it's kind of like rubbing salt in their wounds. I don't understand it. I don't think there's a logical explanation for it, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, it's quite an interesting day, or was quite an interesting day for Ish Sodhi, right? Took a 6 first, scored valuable runs, and came back to bat after getting Mankaded. But here's my take on it. I think that currently, within the cricketing sphere, there's certain countries who are very much on board with it, and certain countries which aren't. And it's a cultural thing, and the culture is different in each of these cricketing nations. Like Pakistan made it very clear that they are not in favor. And I mean, whoever thinks whatever about it, right? Everyone will have their opinions. I will have mine, Iman will have mine. There will be polarization, but we can see that in the landscape as well as far as the players are concerned. And what's really interesting is that very, very evidently, Bangladesh has some indecision because Liton called Ish Sodhi back. Hassan Mahmood, if he was attempting it and he got Ish Sodhi out that way, clearly he was on board with it. Tamim Iqbal was very, very vocal that they shouldn't have called him back, right? And then Ish Sodhi said that he would have done the exact same thing. I mean, I have a little trouble understanding that. I'm struggling to see how Ish Sodhi would have attempted it, and then when the batter was walking back, he would have called him back. So I think Ish Sodhi might have not attempted it in the first place. Maybe that's a more rational explanation. But it's very, very interesting that these things are happening. And I think going into the World Cup, all of these teams, every single nation that's participating, they probably need to sit down as a team and talk about it and discuss whether or not they want to attempt this, especially when, the stakes are high and it's a pressure situation, because it is a valid mode of dismissal, whether or not people like it and wherever you fall on that whole spirit of cricket debate. But yeah, I mean, very, very, I don't know. It was one of those moments that makes for a great first edition of our show.
Yeah, no, 100%. I also think that maybe it was, because New Zealand are on the crease, it's Ish Sodhi. He's a nice guy. New Zealand are like the token nice guys of cricket. So maybe it was about that. Maybe Litton was like, not them. Maybe if it's India or even Sri Lanka, who are obviously Bangladesh's greatest rivals, we would see them actually follow through on the Mankad or maybe attempt it again. But yeah, like you said, I really think that everyone needs to have a conversation within their team. I do like that, when Shadab got Mankaded, when Ish Sodhi got Mankaded, they walk off, no fuss, no tantrums thrown. But teams really need to be clear on whether they want to do the Mankad and whether they're going to follow through on that. But yeah, that was our why did he do that moment of the week. What was yours? We'd love to hear about it.
Let us know in the comments section below.